Name is Dalton.
You don't look like much to me.
Opinions vary.
He's the best there is.
Damn, that hurts, doesn't it?
He says he's nice.
I want you to be nice.
Always nice.
I know you're not a nice guy.
Until it's time not to be nice.
He's real good.
Roadhouse, rated R.
Good night, nobody died.
Starts Friday at theaters everywhere.
WKGF presents The Witching Hour with Max Thorn.
Good evening, my little spooky squad. This is it. The last Halloween of the 1980s. Next Halloween will be 1990. Can you believe it? The decade is over. And what a decade it was. My personal favorite so far. But I am very curious about what the 90s will bring. I doubt we'll get flying cars, but I have a feeling we'll get some massive leaps in communication and tech. Whew. I wonder what other changes will come. Every decade seems to birth a new style of music, so that might be either exciting or very annoying. Although I don't think rock and roll is going anywhere ever. At least I hope not. Honestly, I think rap might take off pretty big in the 90s. The founding fathers have laid the groundwork of the genre, so I think it's ready to explode and go mainstream. Or maybe some completely different style will emerge, sort of like how disco did, but that might backfire again, because disco sucks. I think CDs will be more mainstream, eventually choking out cassette tapes and vinyl albums completely. But who knows? I read an article in some random newspaper at my parents' house that said in the 90s there will be computers in every home and will send mail electronically instead of through the post office. Another change from decade to decade is that damn Cold War. I said a few weeks ago, and I will say it again, I think that Berlin Wall is just begging to be torn down. And I think it's going to happen. I have lived my whole life, as I'm sure most of you have as well, under the constant threat of nuclear war. In school, we had duck and cover drills to prepare us for attacks, mushroom cloud nightmares every night. And I hope it is finally going to stop. Every day I wait for Bush to say it's over. I still wait, and he still remains silent. But I am confident that that wall is coming down, and soon, and that particular nightmare will be over. It's like waiting on a storm that hasn't arrived yet, but you could still smell the rain. We're all waiting for either that wall to fall or the sky to light up, but something's got to give. But regardless of what happens, one thing is for certain. I'll be there with you. The airwaves aren't going anywhere. I can promise you that. I just hope trends don't change so drastically that I am forced to cut my hair. Only time will tell. Needless to say, I love the 80s. And I'm both sad and excited to see him go. The 80s had a heartbeat. They made me feel alive. But the 90s, man, that's crazy to think about. Soon you could be listening to this show on your very own personal computer, or Ricky could be replaced by a sexy robot. What do you think about that, Ricky?
Would I get a severance package?
We've got a comedian in the booth to my left, guys. Oh, Halloween. God, I love Halloween. You could just feel it. It's like Christmas, the only other holiday you can actually feel. Like, look outside. Look at the jack-o'-lanterns flickering in the cool fall breeze, casting twisted shadows on the streets, crawling with ghosts and witches and every slasher villain Hollywood has thrown at us in the last 10 years. Somewhere, just outside your door, a group of kids is testing their luck with a Ouija board, and some poor schmuck in a tie and horrible loafers is about to learn the trick part of trick or treat. And rightfully so. Nerds. Hey, speaking of nerds, let's take a moment to acknowledge the group of them standing outside our window holding their sad little signs. We've got a record tonight, guys. I can see 12 people. I was hoping there would be an uptick with the stories we've had the past couple of weeks. One of the signs says, Max Thorn is a murderer, which to me is kind of silly because, you know, I've never actually killed anyone. In fact, I ran over a squirrel about 2 years ago, and I am still not over it. But whatever, I don't care about them. I care about you. And the irony is not lost on me that these people have to actually listen to the show to be upset about it. So thank you. I hope they have a portable radio out there with them right now. Anyway, over the past 4 years, we've talked a lot about the origins of Halloween. But what about the 80s in general? This decade defined the horror we live and breathe today. Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, they all became legends. Stephen King's nightmares lunged off the page and onto the big screen and the small screen. And let's not forget the glorious satanic panic when half the country thought their neighbor was leading a cult in their basements. We stared into the abyss of the unknown, and what did we do? We made it fun. We threw on masks, pumped up the fog machines, turned the darkness into a party, and relished the fact that us weirdos and outcasts and losers could all come together and make the night special. On Halloween, we belong. It belongs to us, the true creatures of the night. So let's send this decade out right, with chills and thrills and with a few stories that might just keep you from turning off the lights. So, speaking of satanic panic, we are going to sink our teeth into a story that is sinfully satisfying. At least it would be if it didn't come with a side of disembowelment a la carte. Ricky gave me that joke. Blame him. Like, he literally wrote that down on a piece of paper and set it on my desk. So, if you got a problem with my jokes, it's Ricky. Right under the bus, Ricky. That's where I'm throwing you. I'm throwing you right under the bus. He's laughing. You can't hear him, but he's laughing. Anyway, I'm just fooling around. But yes, our story today revolves around a new Hollywood burger joint and the Canadian-based marketing firm it spawned from. In a case that has shocked colleagues and friends alike, the untimely death of Tim Sanderson, a rising star at Wilhelm Advertising in Vancouver, Canada, has left many wondering about his recent and bizarre claims of making a deal with the devil. Thanks to a tip from a listener, I decided to look into the case. Sanderson, an American who relocated to Vancouver, who was known for his recent success in the massive launch campaign of the new Hollywood-based fast food restaurant Devil Burger, passed away under mysterious circumstances just 3 days before his work was to finally come to fruition. The 35-year-old's body was discovered in his apartment last Thursday morning. I grabbed my trusty tape recorder and headed down the I-5 to see what I could find. I was met with a handful of co-workers from Canada who traveled down for the big launch. Co-workers say Sanderson was on a sudden, extraordinary creative streak when he won the account for Devil Burger, a surprise move as the account was widely expected to go to Dave Wilhelm, the boss's nephew. However, behind his success, Sanderson had begun sharing strange stories with friends and colleagues. According to multiple sources, Tim claimed that a tiny floating devil had appeared to him, hovering above his right shoulder, allegedly offering inspiration and advice in exchange for his sweet-tasting soul.
Tim had been acting different lately, both in a good way and a concerning way.
This is Jasmine Sinclair, an art director at the firm where Tim was employed.
He always joked about selling his soul for a big break, but then, all of a sudden, he started saying it had actually happened. And the way he described it, it was pretty chilling. He seemed half joking, but there was real fear behind his eyes.
The Devil Burger campaign featured slogans such as sinfully satisfying and not your grandma's hamburger unless she's burning in hell. That's a real slogan. I'm not joking about that. All right. The burger joint also featured Cerberus-sized combo meals for the rather hellishly high price of $6.66. The edgy, dark humor of the campaign was a hit with both the client and the public, and Tim's work quickly gained widespread recognition. But those closest to him noted that his behavior had become increasingly erratic. According to his friend, Dave Bouchard, not to be confused with Dave Wilhelm I mentioned earlier, or all the other Canadians named Dave that I encountered on this story. According to this Dave, Tim confided that he had felt something intangible slipping away after the Devil Burger pitch.
He told me he felt like he'd lost a piece of himself. At first I thought he was just burnt out from the campaign or, all the pot we smoked during our breaks. I mean, the pot he smoked during his breaks. But then he got worse, like he was haunted by something. He talked about a debt coming due and even joked that his deal with the devil was coming back to collect. None of us took him seriously until we found him disemboweled in his apartment, That was shocking,
Other co-workers, 4 of whom were also named Dave, I'm not joking, reported eerie incidents that Tim described in the days leading up to his death. Many recall him saying he could hear the voice of the devil he claimed to have bargained with, whispering in the quiet moments at work. Marie Diaz, a fellow worker, remembers Tim acting skittish and distracted.
He was so on edge, he was constantly looking over his shoulder. Or actually, he was looking at his shoulder. It was weird. One time, he even said he saw him, the little floating devil guy, right there in the office. We all laughed it off, but now it's oops.
This sounds crazy, but I think Tim was telling the truth, eh?
This is Dave Wright, the janitor of Tim's apartment building, and yes, another Canadian Dave.
He was genuinely scared of something we couldn't see, and I believe he thought he was living out some kind of curse. He kept saying the price for his success would be collected. Now that he's gone, it's hard not to wonder if maybe he was right, eh?
Wasn't he painfully disemboweled with what appeared to be a tiny 3-pronged fork?
Yeah. That's almost what makes me believe him.
Mr. Wilhelm, the head of Wilhelm Advertising in Vancouver and Tim's boss, spoke briefly on the tragedy, calling Tim a remarkable talent who set himself apart from the rest by not being named Dave, and whose potential was only just being realized.
We all thought his deal with the devil story was just his unique way of getting attention. But now everyone's on edge. This whole thing has cast a long shadow over the office, and it's kind of bumming us all out.
Ah, yes, Tim's horrifying demise. Less of a tragedy and more of a buzzkill of the corporate synergy.
Yeah, the best way I think to honor Tim would be to head on down to Devil Burger, now open on the corner of Hollywood and Highland. We've got a hell of a deal for you.
That's when I had had enough. As Devil Burger's campaign soars in popularity, however, rumors continue to swirl about Tim's final days. Some Wilhelm advertising employees say they have begun to experience strange occurrences. Whispers in the empty hallways, flickering lights, empty cans of Molson spread all over the building after hours, and even unsettling feelings when they pass Tim's old desk. But they all snickered after telling me like they still think Tim could be pulling the most epic prank of all time. I don't know what is wrong with these people. For that reason, once again, I feel the need to remind you all, especially his co-workers, that Tim was horribly murdered. Not only that, but security footage showed no one entered or exited Tim's apartment the day he died, and his windows were locked from the inside, with no sign of the murder weapon, which some investigators believe was a 3-pronged fork. Also, he's already been cremated. Wow, strange indeed. Definitely not a prank. Let me know what you think out there in Radio Land. Could Tim have really sold his soul to the devil? Is $6.66 way too high for a simple combo meal? Is every male in Canada named Dave? Let's figure this out. The phone lines are open. 805-272-0089. All right, let's take some calls. Hey, you are on the air with Max Thorn.
Hey, Max, long-time listener. Just wanted to say that, Devil Burger is a great place for families, too. And
Damn it, Wilhelm, is that you? Ricky! Dude!
Sorry. He said his name was Dave, and he had a story about a flying canoe or something. That dude must be a sociopath because he totally fooled me. I swear I didn't know he was just gunning for a free commercial. That's my fault. I'll take the blame. 100% on me.
Let's get someone better.
Oh, I've got one for you. Another young listener from right here in Bakersfield. You'll like this one. I promise.
All right. Let's go to Brian. What's up, Brian? You're on the air with Max Thorn in the Witching Hour.
Hi, Max. Thanks for answering.
How old are you, dude?
40?
Come on!
I'm 10. I'm sorry.
It's okay. So what do you got?
Don't laugh, but I think I had a ghost in my room a few months ago. Or maybe 2 ghosts. I don't know.
Go on.
So, I had these 2 friends named Grant and Roxy, and we were at a sleepover here one weekend. I thought it would be fun, but all they did was hog my Nintendo all night. It was boring, but whatever. So, my parents come in and tell us it's lights out, so we all go to bed, but as soon as they heard my parents head upstairs, Grant and Roxy got out of bed and turned my TV back on again, and they asked me if I ever watched Channel 99. I didn't know what they were talking about. Then they both laughed and turned the cable box to Channel 99. I didn't even know we had this channel. It looked so weird, like it was all blurry. All I could, see was colors all mixed up. Grant said it was the Ghost Channel, and I stared at the screen, and every now and then I could see someone's face, right there in all the colors. And every time it happened, Grant and Roxy got super excited, but I didn't know why. They were laughing and high-fiving, and I thought they'd wake my parents up. I thought something bad was happening on that channel because every now and then the sound would come on, and it would be like this woman moaning in pain. Grant and Roxy went crazy every time it happened, and I asked why, and they just ignored me and laughed. I was so scared I had to go back to my sleeping bag and hide. I don't I don't know how long I was asleep, but like in the middle of the night, I heard something that woke me up. It was, whispering from the other room. The TV was off, so, I knew it was late, and I looked at Grant and Roxy's sleeping bags, and they looked full, so it wasn't them, and I know it wasn't my parents, but I knew I heard something out in the living room.
Did you go look?
I couldn't.
You sure it just wasn't your friends, buddy?
I'm almost positive they were in their sleeping bags still, but all of a sudden I heard some giggling, then a girl's voice. It was soft, but I could hear it. She was speaking really slowly. I couldn't make out the words, but I could hear her.
Not your mom.
No, not my mom, for sure of that. Our phone has this thing where, like, the person on the other line can be heard by everyone, like speakerphone or something, and that's what it sounded like someone was on the phone. But I got scared. And threw the sleeping bag over my head and stayed quiet. I heard my dad call out something from upstairs, so I knew he heard it too, and then I heard, like, a squeak from my door, then rattles. So I stayed hidden until all the sounds died down, and then I looked, and Grant and Roxy, they were still there, but, like, they had moved because I could actually see their arms now, and they must have been woken up too because I could hear them, like, laughing, like, kind of quietly. So I asked them if they heard anything, and they said it was probably a ghost that came out of the TV from watching the Ghost Channel. And Roxy said, yeah, that happens sometimes if you're not careful. And they were laughing, like laughing about a ghost. When I woke up, they were still sleeping, so I went to, like, look around a bit, and I noticed some money from my piggy bank was missing. Just the quarters and the dollar bills, though. The ghost ripped me off, Max.
Well, Brian, I don't know what to tell you about this one. I mean, it's possible that there was a ghost, but but maybe your friends are just perfectly normal boys of a certain age, and, maybe the ghost seems pretty harmless, so let's just assume that he's a friendly ghost, and I don't know, maybe he just needed a few bucks for a nice dinner for his ghost girlfriend.
Hey, Max, sorry to butt in, but
what's wrong?
I've got a call you have to take right away.
Who is it?
Just take the call, Max.
All right. Put it on. Hey, you're on the air with Max Thorn in the Witching Hour.
Good evening, Max.
Good evening, Grace.
So pleased you took my call.
Well, it seems we have a bit of a celebrity on the line, folks. This is Grace Lawson. You may remember her as the Nightblade.
I simply couldn't resist calling, Max, even though our time zones are so different. Honestly, I'd forgotten all about you until I happened to turn on the radio one day, and there you were. Imagine my disdain to find out you're still talking about me. In fact, it seems you've made a whole career out of our one brief encounter. Bravo! Did it bring back memories, Max, speaking about me? Last time we spoke, I remember you being so young, so eager, holding that little cassette recorder like you were really hot stuff. Do you still have it?
I do.
And the mustache?
No, that's gone.
What about your Bon Jovi t-shirt? I bet you still wear that, huh?
Well, they've only gotten better since we last talked, so yes. It's a little tighter now, but I still wear it. How can I help you, Grace?
Help me? Oh, Max, you've done quite the opposite, I'm afraid. I heard you've been quite busy digging into my life, retracing my steps and stirring up ghosts. Does it make you feel important?
I've never claimed to be important. I just want to be entertaining. I appreciate you calling in, Grace, but, what do you want?
Oh, you don't get to ask me any more questions. I was doing just fine over here until you brought my name up. I had everything under control. No one knew who or what I was, and then you come along with your little radio show. A couple of months ago, I was just minding my own business in a pub, enjoying a drink. And now because of you and that bartender, I'm back in the public eye, and Max, I do not like being in the public eye. Those men, I had no intentions. I just wanted a normal night out. But they would not stop, and you know as well as I do, a girl can only take so much. They just kept pushing and pushing until I removed that ability from them. Permanently. You remember how it felt back in 1985, don't you? That room, the tape recorder humming, the questions you didn't even know how to ask. I could see the fear in your eyes even then. And yet here you are, Max, dragging my name through the mud all over again, like I wouldn't find out. Bold. Maybe just stupid.
How can I help you, Grace?
Oh, you can't help me now, Max. I'm getting restless, and you don't like what happens when I get restless. Oh, Max, I like you. I really, really, I do. But you did this.
I've only told the truth. What is it that you think I did?
Oh, don't be so naive, Max. Your little show isn't just broadcasting in your little podunk city anymore. You're all over the globe, and you didn't even think what that might cause? You didn't think your stories rile up a crowd of your little fans desperate to be the one that catches me? I heard what happened to Becky and Michael, poor kids. Do you feel that you have blood on your hands for that?
I told them not to do anything stupid. I have never once suggested anyone...
I don't care what you suggested, Max. It's what's happened. And I don't like it. I just want to be left alone. How have you not gotten that yet? How have you not gotten that yet? How has nobody gotten that yet? Now I've got an army of slack-jawed plonkers trying to find me.
I'm sorry, that was never my intention. I'll try to persuade them to let you be.
No, Max. We're beyond that. I want to have fun now. I want to play a game. Don't you just love games, Max?
No.
Oh, I do. So here are the rules. If you, Max Thorn, track me down and find me, I will stop. Not only that, I will give you an exclusive interview, a full confession, just for you. But if one of your fans finds me first, and they will try, I assure you, well, let's just say your ratings will go down ever so slightly. So what do you think, Max? Can you call off the mob you unwittingly created, or is there going to be a long line of dead bodies of people who thought they could get the upper hand on me? You can choose to do nothing. Just sit there in your booth, telling ghost stories until the end of time and hope everyone behaves, or you can try and put an end to all of this. It's totally up to you. I won't make it easy, but I'm not going to sit idle either. The clock is ticking. And just so you know, I'm not kidding. I've got a special surprise for you. What is your producer's name? The nice man that answered my call?
Ricky.
Hi, Ricky. You seem like a lovely man. Can you put your voice on the air? I want the audience to hear.
Hear what?
Yes or no, Ricky?
Yes, we're both on now.
Thank you. Max, are you looking at Ricky right now?
Yeah, I'm looking at him.
Oh, goody.
Ricky, what's wrong? Ricky! Grace, put him down! Grace, put him down! Grace, put him down! Grace, put him down! Put him down, Grace! Put him down, Grace! Ricky! Put him down, Grace!
Tick-tock, Max. Tick-tock.
Grace, put him down!
We are experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by. We are experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by. We are experiencing technical difficulties.